Hi, I'm Edda, award-winning stylist, healer, and coach. Every week, we flip the script on the relentless treadmill that is just so upsetting in your life and give you a path to creating a beautiful, happy, joyous life inside and out. Yes, this week we are taking the ways that you create your goals and wrapping them into a very profound vision of possibility, something that is far more magnetic than just achieving your bullet list. Let's dive in. Hi. Well, here we are, week 3 of 2026, and we're now going to blend week 2 and week 1 together. So we're going to take a look at everything, but I need to kind of set tone for where we're going. Because obviously, if you've been hanging out with me for the beginning, you know something about this thing that I call the uneven playing field and all the mindfuck math it takes to stay on it or move up it. So that is one version of reality. Another one is where I kind of like beg you and invite you to look at your divine spark. And even more powerful, your relationship, your body, your mind, and your spirit. So we are going to just kind of first set a little bit of tone here, and then we're going to go into a deep dive around these two aspects of what I've been teaching you since the beginning of 2026. Okay, here we go. So you have really just two choices, and unfortunately, it's not just once you get to do this. It's pretty much day in and day out. You are called to either choose the uneven playing field. Happens to the best of us, happens all the time, big, small, medium, or large. Before you know it, boop, you're back there. Didn't even want to go. Or 2, to really dive into the sort of more experiential aspect of being a human. This place of where we look at this sort of deeper, resounding way to experience our humanity, which is what I was speaking about most clearly last week, that perhaps we could be here to experience being a human on this sort of, if you will, earthly plane. And so we are now going to go back where I took you through those 6 steps. And then we're going to just like look at the fact that even those 6 steps, depending on your perspective, which is so huge, perspective. I did tell you we're going to dive into perspective big time very soon, because depending on how you see things, you will go in absolutely different directions. 100%, I can tell you. I've seen it all the time with my people who I coach and people who ultimately are in many ways looking to better themselves. Their perspective will affect them no matter what. Okay, so let's just look at the 6 steps again, shall we? That first one that I said is just first and foremost looking at the greater truth, or what I call the what's so. The absolute, and this can be a pretty big first step because it can look at so many levels of the what's so, the surrounding world and how it affects you, your lot in life, your ways that you have in the past been affected and or potentially still struggle with things. Those are just to name a few, The second thing is to ultimately know how to surrender. To surrender your belief system to the sort of call of the what's so that you will go on to a new path, a new journey, a new way of discovering who you truly are and what the world is truly about. That's important, surrendering. Then we get into step 3. Step 3. Goals. Yay, goals. We love our goals. But goals not like how we would normally do it. I'm going to lose 20 pounds by, February 15th, blah, 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 blah. It's not that simple, again, because the goals that I set up, if you will, are an A and a B. So there's 2 steps to them. And the first one is, what would it take for me to really like feel who I need to be? And if you remember, it's because some of what we discuss about goals is they're set up on fantasy. Oh, when I get there, I'm going to feel this way. So first off, you just need to know, how do I want to feel in my life? And it may or may not have anything to do with the goal that you're trying to set for yourself. And also, what are the mistaken beliefs that I have about myself, about this goal that I'm trying to achieve, about other things that might affect how I make my decision making in a larger context, or in maybe even specifically with this one goal that I'm searching for. And then the B of that is the feeling and the healing of it, because ultimately, anytime you grow, there's an opportunity to heal mistaken beliefs, heal perhaps ways that you didn't know you could achieve or do the thing that you're trying to do, because it's new. It's something that you haven't done or haven't done for a long time. So there is some invitation to heal. And this is so powerful. Ultimately, these really guide and pull you forward. And that's fabulous. And this is usually where people end, to some degree, something of this, and they don't do step 4, which I think is one of the most critical steps, which is, how am I going to blow myself up? I'm going to sooner or later step off, or just totally like walk away, because sooner or later I will have to face the deeper pain, the deeper frustration, the deeper aspects of healing. And it will be something that perhaps is too daunting, or I'm not able to really fully do. And so I will blow myself up. So you need to name that. And then ultimately you reorient, maybe to all steps 1 through 3, maybe just to 3, where you really, really, really allow yourself the opportunity to get back onto that horse again. Now, the last step, which I think is a really beautiful step, which I think might be something that is far more powerful, and most of us don't even really think of when we think of goals or vision or perhaps New Year's resolution, but it is this aspect of finding support and having people there to support you. And we named this, Alfred Adler named this Gemeinschaftsgefühl. Very cool, very powerful. This idea that we are better for growing together. And in everything that I'm talking about, and everything I'm poking at, and everything I'm inviting you to do, it is so critical to be aware of these 6 aspects, because if you look at the internal aspect of what you're trying to create in any of your visions and goals, you could see the invitation to end up boo, 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 on the uneven playing field. Hey, let's go. Or boo, 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 boo. Oh my gosh. To find myself on a human experience where I discover and I learn and I create, I heal. I make mistakes. I recreate. I learn to love. I learn to love in so many different aspects. And in this, I learned to experience being a human. I think that especially in a capitalist society, and again, I have nothing wrong with people making money, no, but often in a capitalist society, in order to be richer or more powerful or more prestigious, this little aspect of humanity, and even the Gemeinschaftsgefühl gets kind of cut away. We are by nature social human beings. We're social beings by nature, born that way. We survive, have always survived in tribes with people. And so at one level, I invite all of us to do the bigger job, the harder job, the more painful job. But in truth, the more deeper connected job. Because when I am with people who begin to see that a lot of their goals and the things that they do in life are just some sort of ladder on a house of cards that they're just trying to get up to the next rickety little step, and the machinations that they go through to find how to build the ladder, how to get that ladder up there, and how to keep the house of cards from falling. They suddenly start to feel like they are discovering, even though maybe more vulnerable, home. And truthfully, this is the craziest thing. And I can't wait. I really do hope that I am able to bring on one of my favorite playwrights and directors, Chicago playwright, Mary Zimmerman, because one of my favorite plays she ever did was Journey to the West. And in this, in the beginning, I think we literally think we're fighting dragons and monsters and people outside of us, but the truth is, when we get to it, it's all us. It's just us. We have the opportunity to heal. And when we heal, we begin to re-scoop more of us. I'm going to share with you again last week some of the things that I shared with you. And I want you to imagine if you really did these things. What if you lived each and every day knowing that you were part of something so vast and so loving? Oh my gosh. Drinking that in, trying to find the applications of where that exists. Remembering that every single thing you touch is touched by you. Everything, everyone, that you make an impact. You know how I love to quote Einstein, and he said, you can look at the world in two ways, as if nothing is a miracle, or as if everything is a miracle. Kind of a challenge to think of it the second way, but wow, what a game changer, right? And to know that your life is not a test. We are not here to get it all right. We are here to create relationships. And then I'm going to say that beautiful thing again, to experience what it is to be a human. Wow, what a vast, cool experience. Humanity, amazing. We are here to feel our feelings, experience senses. We are here to choose what paths we want to take, what areas of focus, what books, what people we want to drink in, how to choose to then bring that to the world. We are here to create in a myriad of ways, and maybe today we create this way and then tomorrow we create another way. What a vast experience creation is. And in all of this, we get to watch ourselves, that sort of part of ourselves that watches our body and our mind at work, and learn, and lights going off every direction. Wow. To love. Think of all the ways you have loved already, and your life isn't even over. Some of you have loved your parents and your siblings, and some of you have had the opportunity to experience love with, a friend, or maybe even deeper with someone, a partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Some of you have loved the experiences of a pet, an animal, loved the experiences of seeing animals in nature, loved being in wilderness and being awestruck by how beautiful it is. Love is so vast. I can't even describe all the loves. So many loves. So many different kinds of loves. And then every once in a while we are hurt, or we do something and we learn, oh, that didn't go well. So we heal. And we repair. And we start over again. So not Groundhog Day again, where we just do the same thing, maybe, but maybe Groundhog Day where earnestly he's searching, not just to get out of the 24-hour loop, because earnestly he is desperately trying to find what is so meaningful about the 24-hour loop and about doing it all over again. What if, my lovely human beings, we don't even need to play on the playing field, or if we do, it's just literally second fiddle to the real thing that we've been invited to, the thing that's there all day, every day, waiting for you. And all you have to do is turn and pay attention. It might take more. I often find meditating and doing therapy and discovering my mistaken beliefs and digging and reading into great authors to help me see different and bigger and neater and cooler perspectives that I might not have ever known help me. So take those 6 steps and earnestly think about what it would be like to truly do 2026 with the greatest opportunity to become the most human, to feel everything. Your hurt, your pain, your joy, your fear, and to discover the mistaken beliefs that perhaps sometimes lead you to things that are uncomfortable, that you don't want to do anymore. Wow. To change mistaken beliefs, and I'm going to give you a different word, your perspective. To see how powerful your beliefs are and how they, to some degree or another, lead you, whether up to that uneven playing field or to some level of agony, upset, frustration, pain, and or just full-on mind fuckery. So mistaken or no, the next place where we're going is to look at how powerful your projections, your perceptions, and everything that your mind does to trip you up or to help you find heaven on earth. What if you are here to unlearn the scripts? What if this is part of the journey? What if the uneven playing field is there to help you reflect on everything? Like, it's not there to torture us. It's not just some sort of torture chamber. It is actually there to help you discover what is more important to you, what is deeper, what is really the amazing aspect of being a human being, a body, mind, and soul. Body, mind, and soul. What the heck is that? That's just so crazy cool. I just don't even know how to give you the manual for that, except for hey, let's just learn, let's live, let's love, let's hurt, let's cry, let's feel, and then heal. Let's do that. Let's go there. Let's just do it all. What if it was the opportunity to see how clearly you could see, how deep you could go into what I call the what's so, to discover what's so profoundly almost elusive sometimes to us. These things that we almost can put our hands on that we can't quite. What if that is the journey? What if that's an okay journey to have, that we don't necessarily need the house of cards and to be higher up on an uneven playing field to matter, but the mattering is just to discover. Just think of a child. Think of a child so innocent, so pure, and how they love everything. They love everything. They dig in, they start painting, and then the next thing you know, they're into blocks and they're building blocks, and then the next thing you know, they're drawing, and then the next thing you know, they're running around with bubbles and they're giggling. They love it all. They love every single thing about it. What is so cool? And why can't we have some of that lovely little slice of life too? I think we can. We just forgot how. And we sort of somehow think that if it's hard and elusive, that somehow we should turn our back to it. I don't know. No, 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 no. To discover what's A, right in front of you, whoop, and then B, to see, okay, what does it all actually bring me to? And at one level, I think it brings us to something far more glorious. And at another level, it brings us right back home to the most beautiful little being that you are, which, oh, by the way, is ordinary at one level and extraordinary at another, but no more extraordinary than anybody. Yet right there is the truth. I don't care. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care. And this isn't just me, Edda. I don't care. No. This is me saying the scripts that we need to flip shouldn't care. Because it does not matter. The people on the uneven playing field, no matter where they're playing, still are grappling with the same things that anybody else is grappling with. There is no way that they got it figured out. They don't, because it is meant to be a journey, a human experience. Go for whatever you want, choose whatever you want, feel the consequences of what you choose. Learn from the consequences. Heal. Heal perhaps with others. Create healing. Find love, create love, be love. In the end, all of this is just really pretty much a huge illusion, especially when we choose truth. And truth, not my truth, not Susie Q's truth, not Daryl Barbarrel's truth. No, 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 no. The truth, the greater truth, the greatest truth of all, the what's so, the willingness to sit with actual full-on truth. That is the truth. When we are able to step away from performing and choose to be present, we step into truth. When we are able to step into the meaning of things and out of fear and attacking and rage, we step into the greater truth. I know you're like, I just wanted goals. I just wanted goals for 2026 because Edda, you said you were going to help me with my goals. I am. Because truthfully, everything we've been talking about, whether you are like me taking on your weight, or you like me have some things that you want to achieve in 2026, as well as you and I both know what keeps you up at night. It's not just the weight or maybe that next place where you want to go in your career or in your relationship or how you're going to organize your home. All of that good, that's not what keeps you up at night. That's not what keeps you up at night. It's this. And this, the conversation that I'm talking about right now, this conversation about truly, truly, truly living a human experience, about living, loving, learning, choosing. Choosing, we do it all the time. Learning from our choices, having all sorts of opportunities to choose and learn again and love. Because all of us just want to be loved. All of us want to be loved. And so take the 6 points, but please take this perspective, and hopefully what you discover, which is what I really want for you to discover, it isn't just about the 20 pounds or the cleaner house or the ways that you're going to be more organized or how you're going to move forward in your career. You're going to discover that bigger dreams actually start to get ignited, and or maybe even start to come online. Things that you just never imagined for yourself. Because ultimately, when we come from these spaces, something starts to line up. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying something you get like the fast pass, like in Disney, you get to go in the front of the line. No. But what I am saying is you start to see how your life actually makes sense. And maybe the things that are quirky about you suddenly actually feel very purposeful. And suddenly you're a little bit more at peace with yourself and maybe even a little bit excited about how you fit into this grander cosmic puzzle. Because you do. I don't know exactly how, but I know you do. Because I see it all the time when I coach people, how they are magnificent little, beautiful little puzzle pieces of humanity that are here for the greatest divine ride of our, I guess, spiritual lives. So, I hope you have enjoyed. Next week, we are going to take a look at perspective, and in that, the ways that our perspective can really trip us up, because damn, our brain is so freaking amazing at basically choosing what to believe and not to believe. And when you believe it, you are going on a ride, and that ride might not be in the direction you want to go. Okay, have a good night. See you next week. Thanks for joining us on this week. I can't wait to see you next week when we really look at how powerful our brains are and how deeply, deeply important it is to question your beliefs.